Good afternoon, and thank you very much for allowing the time to join us today. My name is Charles Scott. Welcome to this month's Civil Designer Software Open Classroom webinar, the 78th in our Open Classroom webinar series. If you're new to the series, please visit our website www.civildesigner.com, go to the Services pull-down menu and click on the Webinars link to access our library of past webinars. Or, under the same Services pull-down menu, click on the FAQ videos link to access our library of short, searchable videos created from this series by typing your topic of interest in the search bar, be this important survey information, platform design, road templates, sewer house connections, etc. Back to today, where I'm about to be joined by Christopher Smith for an advanced roads design session using the latest version of Civil Designer, version 8.5, build 6. During Chris's presentation today, please feel free to use the text chat service in your GoToWebinar app or webpage to ask us any questions you may have during his time today. Chris, it's been great working with you again. Please take it away.
Thanks, Charles, and welcome everybody to this webinar. Today we're going to be looking at three main items which will be tying into an existing road. So you'll be looking at speeding up your design of your main road that you're tying into. We'll then be looking at specifying the layerworks that are going to be added to the road. So that will be between the existing edge and the new road edge. We'll be defining those with polylines. We'll then be looking at control points and how to make side drains with a taper off to the side using the control points. Let's go ahead and have a look. Here you can see I've got a new road that is being designed with alignments, and I have also got the survey of an existing road. I have made these 3D polylines. They have been snapped onto the survey information, the DTM points. So you can see that as I move along here, the DTM points Z value updates along those vertices. So I'll show you how to create that yourself. Let's go and switch on our names. You can see here that they've named the center line. We hope that that is the crown of the road. Always sit down with your land surveyor and ensure that they are surveying the crown of the road, not necessarily the center of the road, because you're trying to model the road itself, the geometrics of the road. I will then use the filter and I will choose to just show the center line. And then we can go and switch on the points because we want to snap to those points. We don't want to be snapping in the drawing plane, so we switch that off so that we can be snapping in the 3D plane. I would like to draw on the existing centerline CAD layer that I've pre-created. And we'll be in CAD mode. I can then go to Draw, Polyline, 3D Polyline. Click on my snaps for point snaps. And it's always good to have extra survey information past where you want to start. And it's always good to model the outer edges to be longer than the center line, so that when it's hunting for its edge perpendicular, it will find an edge. So we'll start inside of the existing CAD lines that we've created. I'll then go along this route and model this as a 3D polyline. Once we finish modeling it this way, we can then convert it into a road model. It'll be an as best as it has been surveyed, it will be modeled into a road using extract strings. So I can now press the escape key and we can have a look at that 3D polyline. We just have a look at the vertices are updating. So if you're not sure, you can always go to your heights. You can see that's the third or second decimal place. And here we can see that those are matching. Great. You can update this to the third decimal place in your display settings, but for now this is good enough. Great, I'm going to just switch off my heights and my points as we've got those now, and I want to set up a road. So I'll go to Roads mode, File, select Road File. We'll then add a road. I'll call this the main road. Make sure that it's generated as strings. I'm just going to use a simple template because it's more about the top of the roadway that I'm interested in this exercise. Not going to be looking at curbs in this exercise, so that's fine. And we're going to extract from surface 1 when need be. We can then have that highlighted like it is here and press OK. You'll see main road is now active. We can now go and extract strings. So I'm going to go to alignment, regression, and extract strings. We're going to extract the stake line, the vertical. We're going to do the left edge and the right edge. So this is going to take the data from the CAD information and store it directly in the strings. Normally, as in the case of this one, of this road number here, the minor road, the information is a string road, but it is being modeled off the tabular. So your alignment, horizontal edit, vertical edit, and your edge controls is where the information is stored, and it is displaying that information in the strings. With this one, the information is stored directly in the strings itself. So that comes in very important later on when we do road widening. Okay, so we've got this information here that we want to extract. So we press OK. We can click on the start point. Remember to always click inside of these outer edges. And we can click on the end point. Then once the stake line, I'll again select this center line and I will right click extract. It wants to override the current, so we say yes. And you can choose your intervals that you want to. I always find 5 meters is good enough for a survey, especially when it is 20 meters apart. 5 is okay. Okay, now it would like for the center line, we want to get our heights. We're going to get the heights from the entities, or you can choose to get the heights from the surface itself. I haven't used the fixed height yet. Most of the roads are not flat, but this will extract now from the CAD entity itself. You'll then want the L pivot, which is your vertical. So again, we then select that pivot to get the heights from that, and we can right click and extract. It'll then want your left edge, and we're going to get the heights from the entities itself again for the left hand side. So that's this one here. Right click extract, and the right hand side. It's now created these entities, and it's created the road model. And if you move any of these polylines, the road will update. So it's like these polylines are now dynamically linked to the road model. There you can see it has created the road. I just want to change the height of the text. So let's change it to 1.5 for the main road. It's a decent size. Great. We can now look at the cross section. So we go section graphical edit. Let's just change back to freehand mode, and we can click over here somewhere. And here you can see it has modeled. Let's just use number lock and page up and down. You can then page up and down and check that you have modeled it to match the existing both the crossfalls and the vertical and the horizontal widths and edges are matching the existing road. Great. At this stage, you can now do a intersection with the existing, with the new road and the existing road. Remember, as I said earlier, this has been created with alignments, so it is a strings road, but it is displaying what the information stored here, here, and here. So if you look over here, you'll see it's a simple road with just a straight road in this example. We can then go to junctions and we can say add junction. I'm going to choose that as my minor road and this as my main road. 0.5 intervals along the bow mouths for setting out information, and for modeling that is perfect. If we go to the left hand side, you can see you've got a radius of 12, and you can just move that to the side. You can see that is the left. It's as if you're standing over here. We've got the right hand side, and we can then press OK. It immediately puts the contours in for you, as well as the slope arrows, as I have set this up in my shading settings. You can see over here under drainage, I've chosen to show any flat spots. It will highlight them as triangles if they are flatter than 0.5%. And the low spots I've asked to display a curb inlet, so I can see where the curb inlets are. We can then cancel that and close that. It's very important to have the curb inlets away from the bow mouths. You can do that through various means. You can also go to your bow mouth editor, click on it, and you can then move the bow mouth's vertical alignment here. A quicker way to edit your bow mouth is to change it from an S-curve to a linear interpolation. You can do that by going to Junctions, Edit Junction, select your junction, go to your left curve or your right curve, and you can change it from between S-curve and linear interpolation for the vertical alignment of your bow mouth. You can see the one is the S and the one is linear. So let's have a look what the S curve looks like on the right hand side. If I go to Junctions, bow mouth editor, we select it here. You can see here is an S curve that's been fitted. Where when we look on the left hand side, you can see that is a linear interpolation. Great. With that sorted, we can then look at adding a taper to this project. So let's go and do that. So we're going to go to Junctions, Edit Junction again. I'll go to my left curve and I will add a taper. Let's do a taper of 1 in 5. And an offset of 60. You can see immediately it showed the shadow of that. And you can see that it has put a taper in here. Now you might not be happy with these contours, and that's why it's great to have the contours immediately showing you what's happening in the project, so that you can take decisions immediately. What it has done, it has placed a point from that location there all the way to here, and it's tried to best fit a linear. So let's go back to our Edit Junctions, select it again, go to the left, and you'll see it's linear. We can change that to an S-curve and see how that will look. There you can see it's a lot better having it as an S-curve. However, the project is taking a change from this location here. What you can also do, which is more geared towards having brand new roads here, an actual design, an even design over here, where this is an existing road. So I'll show you how to do it. If we go to Edit, the junction again, and we go to Layout, you can change the S-curve grading from the start over there and only do the center only. So the crossfall will be maintained all the way through the lane. And then from this point here, there will be an S-curve grading along here. If it is a linear interpolation, it will also be a linear. It will also be applied if it's a linear interpolation that you've set out in the left curve. We can then choose this. As I say, this is more geared towards when this is a geometric designed road, not an extracted road. So this is what I mean. Any problems with the existing design get amplified as you are extending outwards towards the edges of the road. That's just by the nature of this being an existing extracted road. If this was a perfect horizontal alignment, you wouldn't get these things happening. But I'm going to show you how to resolve that in a moment. I just want to show you what is happening in the vertical alignment of this Belmoth. Let's go to Belmoth Editor again. And here you can see any imperfections in the survey get amplified when you extend the road across like this. Yeah, you can see you've got low points, so they have to put catch pit warnings along this route. Okay, you can smooth that out using this tool, but then you lose the ability to then you're not really having a attaining crossfall if you had to go and smooth that out. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to use the information that's been calculated for us, the horizontal information that's been calculated for us here. In fact, let's do that on this side as well. So let's go to Junctions and go to Edit Junction. Select it again, because I would like to have an acceleration lane on the other side. So we go to the right hand side or a lead out lane, and we'll put one over here as well, offset 60 and a taper of 1.5. You can see that immediately calculates. Okay, there it's updated like that. Change that to 8. And great. So that looks it's trying to best fit it with the existing information over here. That's why it's a little bit larger. But if you're not happy with that, what we can do, and I'll show you how I would do this. I would go to a layer that I've pre-created called existing left edge, and then I would go to draw polyline, and in this case I'm going to use a lightweight polyline, so it's not that important for the Z values. And I'm again going to go along this route here, and now I'm going to take all the horizontal information that we gathered with the entities, and I'm actually just going to take that straight through. You can work a little bit more accurate, we just don't have that much time. And this, you're going to see, actually models the road and allows me to lead into my next chapter, which is going to be on the layerwork limitations. So it helps with that part of the demo as well. I don't choose close, I'll choose finish. Now I've got that edge there, and we can actually go and say, back in roads mode, I can go to junctions, edit junctions, or actually just go through, sorry, I didn't choose one, junction, delete junction, select it, say yes. And I can now go to, I've got this new edge that I want to use, and I'm going to show you how I would then extract it. So I'm going to go to make sure that this road is active, the main road, not the minor road. And I'm going to go to regressions and extract strings again. This time I'm only going to do the left edge. I'm going to choose from retain crossfall, and we don't have the edit super populated. We've stored this road directly in the strings from CAD, so you need to choose to use the current string slopes, and we're going to retain the crossfall to get the new heights along this lightweight polyline or 2D polyline. So I'll choose this new left edge. You notice that it's selecting it all the way along the route and then back here again. And I can then go right click extract. It's just giving me the warning. I can actually switch it off now that it is a dynamically linked to your road model. And there you can see it has retained the crossfall while keeping the slope. So if we had to go and look at the section graphical edit, you can see that it's retained the crossfall of the existing road, but it has continued up to the new location where horizontally the lightweight polyline is sitting somewhere over here. You can now put your intersection back. If I go to junctions, add junction again, select the minor, then the main, and then on the left curb we can remove the tapers, as we've already put that in using the extract strings. There you got your connection. Here you can see that there's now flat spot warnings and low spot warnings that we need to try and get rid of. As I mentioned earlier, the best way is to actually change these around. So let's just go to our edit junction. I'll just have a look. On the left is a S curve. Let's just change that to linear and see if that sorts it out. It has moved it out of the intersection. You can see the low point is now sitting outside of the bow mouth. We still have a low point. The next way to resolve that, I would use the vertical alignment and try and move the low point to be further away from the intersection, as well as increase your longitudinal grade out of that main road. And there you can see the flat spot's been removed and the low spot is now sitting over here. Great. We can also quickly just add another edge to this project. Just want to see this edge that we have here, lightweight polyline, is needs to be on a layer called new left edge. And I would like to just do the right hand side quickly, and that'll lead us into the second chapter. So I'm going to quickly go back to our lightweight polylines, and we will then use the snaps again, snap along this route, and I'm going to go back to freehand mode and then put in the extra lanes so that there can be a refuge island on the existing roadway, and then a taper back onto the existing. So I'd like to use the nearest. You can work more precisely. It's just to try and save time with this. And I'm going to use the snaps again, snapping on all the edges that are available. And I can then press escape. And I'd like to make sure that this is in new right edge. Great. And then I'll go to alignments, regression, extract strings. This time I'm going to do the right hand side. And we want to retain the crossfall using the slopes that are stored in the strings themselves. Select that edge and right click extract. There you can see it's retained the crossfalls through the project. You can also have a look at it in cross section. You can see it's retained the crossfalls. One other way is you can turn the layerworks off. Gives you a better view of what's going on. You've got the crossfall here, and that has been retained throughout to the new edge. You'll probably have to put a new dish channel in here, in this example. Okay. In the second part of this video, we'll look at how to get our layerworks only to display on that side. So I'm just going to go back to section graphical edit, and you can see the layerworks again. So we only want the layerworks between the new edge and the existing edge on both sides. We need to go to template paths, right click template editor, go to the layerworks. Here you can see the layerworks on the left layer. For this to work, we also need it, even though it is a single carriageway, we do need this populated on the right hand side as well for this to work. Let's copy that and place this over here. So we're going to paste that in there, and we can press OK, close and save, and press OK. We can then go to alignment, regression, and say extract layerworks from CAD. Great, so it's using template 1, that's fine. And here you can see you've got the left layerwork edge, but this is for the left carriageway. So left carriageway, left layerwork edge. So we'll go and we'll say that that is the that will be the new left edge, and the right hand side of that will be the existing left edge. We then have the left layerwork for the right hand side will be the existing right edge, and we have the right hand layerwork for the right hand carriageway is the new right edge. Okay, and then we've got any widths that are less than 0.1, which is 10 centimeters, we will just remove. Now when you go to sections graphical edit, you can see that the layerworks are only taking place in the existing edges. So you can see I've got here, I don't think this would be happening in this order, so we'll just have to invert that. So let's go quickly and change that. So I can go to template paths, right click template editor, go to our layerworks, and have a look at on the right shift would probably be a minus. Let's have a look and see if we're on the right path there. So save yes, close, and I'm just being freehand mode. Section graphical edit. There we go. So the layerworks are stepping in that direction, and we can quickly change those ones as well. Let's go back to template paths and go to layerworks. Right hand side, it will be on this side, but it needs to step. Save that, press OK, and go here. Great, so the layerworks of the new carriageways will be showing up here. We can then do quantities for that. So we go to area volume, and we can say layerwork volumes between base layer 1 and battle layer 2. We can then do OK, and screen output is fine. And there you can see you've got your layerwork properties for the new edges. Got the left hand side as well as the right hand one as well. We can now produce cross sections to give to the contractor. If this was a rip and recompact project, then I wouldn't use this method. I would rather use the alignments, regression, extract alignments, so that you have a horizontal and vertical alignment to give to the contractor for rebuilding the whole road. But as you're keeping the existing road exactly as it is and you're adding lanes, then we are using the extract strings as we've shown you now, and you can then therefore give the contractor the cross sections. So we can go to plot generate, and we can then choose a cross section. So I'm just going to check road cross sections, and we can go to open, and we can then say next. We are doing layers 1 and 2. Here you can see at the start of the road, it's the existing road itself, and then it starts to widen along the route, and we're giving the offset as well as the finished level for the new edge. We're also giving the grade of the existing road that is being extended through to the new edge. I'm now going to look at adding a side drain and having the side drain to have an independent horizontal and vertical alignment. This has come from clients looking to control the vertical alignment of the side drain in areas where they don't want it to follow the longitudinal slope of the main road, which is being too steep. So I'll go and open up a project. So let's open up this project that I've got here. You can see we've got a road going through a cut area. You can just have a look at this terrain. We can put in a drain along this edge here and go through. If you're wanting to do a drain where it's going to be in the cut and then continue through a fill area, then you would need to put it in the compulsory of the template. But we'll try and keep it within the cut, and then we don't, it just makes it one less step. If you do it in the compulsory, then it's probably better to have a different road template in that area. But we can get this to slope outwards and towards away from the road. So it should be fine. Let's press escape and press yes to escape. I'm going to have a look at putting a side drain in the cut. So let's go to Tools, Template Paths. We can right click on our template and choose the editor. Great, so I'm going to go to the left cut where we want the side drain. But before we put the side drain, we just need a compulsory point in. So I'm going to go to adding an edge, and I'll give this 0.5, and it can be flat, that's fine. It's not going to be flat, it's going to move up or down and closer to the road and away from the road to find the geometry of the second road, which will be controlling the side drain. We can then add a side drain to this condition, and now we can go to our data. We can see we've got the left cut and we've got the side drain here. So we'll then put in, I'll put here, this will be the left side drain. And we can then press close and we can save that and we can press OK. So that's now ready for us. If we had to go and say apply template, press OK. You can see the side drain is in place and waiting, and it will be on the side of the road unless we specify otherwise, which we will change in a moment. So you can see there's the side drain. with the compulsory edge here. I would like to then put in this horizontal alignment for the side drain, which I'm going to use CAD for. So I'm going to go to CAD mode and I'm going to go to Draw, Polyline, Lightweight Polyline. The reason I use a lightweight polyline, it allows for arcs. So that's always great when working with geometry. So I'm going to start with a straight because we are using the PI system. So we'll go over here and I'll say I want to put in this straight along here. I'll then right click and say add arc. So now I can add an arc in here. I'm going to put the arc here. Then I need a small straight again because it is a PI system. So you do need to have a straight between, and it needs to be a tangent straight between the two, which this lightweight polyline sorts out for us. And then I can have it slipping away to the side, and I'll end off with a line again. So you'll start and end with lines or tangents. I can then right click and say finish and right click and say quit. Before converting this horizontal alignment into a road, I'm going to go to Tools or Roads mode, Tools, go to Templates Editor, and we can then just change the carriageway to be 0.1 and 0.1 wide. We don't need any layerworks, and we can then save this as a template. So I'm going to go and say save as, and we can call this channel. We can close that. We can then go to File, select Road File, add another road. So we'll call this left channel, and this is going to be 1580 to 800 stake value roughly, and we can use the channel template. I see that I've got conditions there. I'll go and remove them now. So we can then say OK. So I'll go to Tools, Template Paths, right click, say Template Editor, and I'll just remove all these conditions. So you just keep hitting the delete conditions until it's blank, so that there's no embankments there, because the embankments we're going to get from the main road. So we can close that and say yes and say OK. With this road now active, we can go and convert this CAD entity into a road horizontal alignment. So I'm going to go to Alignment, Regression, Extract Alignments. I'll choose the horizontal alignment and click OK. We can use the CAD control points. We select it. It'll be in the order that you drew it, will be the stake values, and we can say yes. It will now have populated the spreadsheet for the horizontal alignment, and there you can see it's got the radiuses have been placed in as well. I'm going to click on the road outside of the alignment and press escape. And then I'm going to go to Alignment, Horizontal Coordinate. I'm going to choose to coordinate every 1 meter for straights and curves, and press OK. I'm then going to go to Alignment, Vertical Alignments, and edit the vertical alignment. And you can see here that you've got -13. Now, if you're trying to control the longitudinal grade of the side channel and have energy dissipation, then I would do it similar to something like this. I would add in VPIs along this route. and just have a look at those grades there. So you then want to go down again and across, but care needs to obviously be taken not to become higher than the main road itself, because that would defeat the point of collecting the water, I guess. So we're trying to create these energy dissipation along the route. The percentages, don't quote me on them. You'd need to read them up and use whatever your local guidelines are. In some cases, you would need to split this up into 3 or 4 and have separate slipways away from the mountain, especially when you start getting can't get away from the high grades. You can then save that vertical alignment. You can now click on the main road again to make that active, and then go to alignment, regression, and you can choose the point control. You'll see that we have the left side drain. I will use this for all road templates. I'll have it enabled for both the vertical and the horizontal, and I'll choose the CAD entities. I'm going to select this center line, and I'll choose the center line of the road, and now it has been selected, and I can say OK. Then I can go and say, with the main road active, alignments, road recalculate, and apply template. Okay, so if we have a look at this in cross section, we can go here, and you can see that this is no longer 1 meter and flat, but it is expanding down to this control point, which is the alignment of the side drain. And then from there, it finds the embankment again. So this is your under your data, this will be your slope, which I'll show you here. If we go to tools, and we go to template paths, we select it, and we go to the data, and go to the left cut. So your final slope is that slope that we speak about happening after that location. And then the slope here is dictated by the vertical and horizontal alignment of the second road itself. Great. And to make a construction drawing for the contractor on the minor road, I'm going to select it, the minor road itself. And then I'm going to go to plot, generate. I'm going to choose a side drain plan and long section. I have asked Charles to send this through to the delegates that have watched this, and then we'll make it available on the install of Civil Designer as well. So please look out for an email next week for this sheet file. If I go to next, and we can just select to plot the natural ground and the center line. And we can click next. And then I just want to check, I'm going to, for those that, I guess the easiest way is if, I was going to use a move, but I think it's going to be better if I redefine all, right click quit, so that it's empty, and show you how I do it from scratch. I would use 1 and 200 because my long section is 1 and 200 for the vertical. Then I'll auto define for the viewport along the alignment, which is this alignment here. We can just accept that and accept that. Now it's found it. I just want to click the move button so that I can see where it's placed it. Yeah, so I'm going to rather center it here. Do I want to adjust the rotation? Yes. And I know it's pointing south, but it's because of this. I want it to match the stake values as well in the long section. So I'm going to accept it that it's facing south, and then I'll right click and quit. Then click next, and I want to have the setting out information for that channel. And there you can see it has created the channel in plan view with the setting out information, as well as a little schematic just to show where the setting out information is based on. And then the long section, which I've put the vertical and horizontal curve information on, as well as the peg levels for this item. So really, this is just something to have a look at. I value your opinion on this, and I'd like to hear from you. Please let us know with this item. Great. Well, that's all for today. I've run out of time. Please let us know if you've got any questions. We look forward to hearing from you. Cheers for now. Back to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Chris. That was very interesting. We will shortly be posting a video copy of today's webinar on our website's webinar page. And by around midday on Monday, we will have posted the FAQ videos created from today's session on our website's FAQ page. Once again, thank you very much for allowing the time to join us today. Please follow our company page on LinkedIn, if you have not done so already, for more information with regards to our customers' civil designer software project showcases, industry news, and new civil designer tech tips. Apologies for my microphone issues today. Have a great afternoon, weekend when it arrives, and goodbye for now.